What's going on, everybody? Bulldog Gaming here. Welcome back to the channel. So we are near the Delaware line, still in Maryland. We made our delivery this morning back down the road a ways, and I want to talk a little bit about OTD, on-time delivery. OTD, on-time delivery. 3 letters. So yesterday we had a little bit of a hiccup in our schedule on getting out here on our OTD. So a couple of things, and bad on my part, and a misunderstanding on my dispatch, being that this is a drop and hook that I was bringing out here, known drop and hook. So if I would have had the hours and would have been able to make it all the way to my consignee, my receiver, I would have been able to drop this trailer, the trailer that I was hooked to last night, hook onto an empty, made it up to where I'm at now, or a little bit farther up the road, or stayed the night there, took care of the song and dance over at the receiver, and moved on with my life. Give me just a second. I would have been able to move on with my life. Shameless plug for soda. Anybody knows what that soda is, you're awesome. But I would have been able to move on with my life. Moved up, got up this morning, went up to my next shipper, picked up, and went down south. As it was, I had a hiccup yesterday, coming into Pennsylvania, out of Wheeling, West Virginia. Had construction, 1-lane construction, and a major backup. It's where my first mistake was. As soon as I shut down or stopped, I should have had notified the company, hey, you know, I had X amount of length and delay. I don't think I'm going to make OTD. Okay, that was my first mistake. My second mistake was leaving a voicemail, because in trucking, things have gone so high tech with phone usage, Qualcomm PeopleNet and Zonar and all those communications between your truck and dispatch. Those are all things that they use for communication and for your ELDs, or, you know, so on and so forth. That they'll send you a message. They're so used to relying on okay, the technology, that they forget that there's old hands like myself that still rely on this right here, plugged into my head. Give me a phone call, say, hey, you know, we got your message, we understand what's going on, da 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 da. No, they throw me a message. They expect me to have the message read to me, or stop along the way, read the message, reply to the message, get on down the road. That wastes time. I am one, sorry, I'm out of the picture here, out of the camera view. I am one that, if I don't physically hear from your voice, a confirmation of saying, I'm moving my wire, my phone wire, that, okay, I got your message, I understand what's going on, let's discuss this, let's find out, you know, could there have been, you know, preventability, you know, I could have thought ahead, I could have paid attention to, you know, whatever. In no way, in my mind, there was no way I could have made OTD. I don't have wings, I don't have a rocket. This is not an air cargo ship. This is an 18-wheeler going down the interstate. So let's talk about that. Does it, when you miss an appointment time, construing you have a solid appointment time, say 0700 in the morning, 7 a.m. for those that don't know military time, and you have, and that's your receiver time. Your pickup time is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, what this does is it puts a time constraint on said individuals that are all involved, the shippers, the receivers, from the customer service rep, which are CSRs, I use the acronym CSRs, to our planners, and from our planners to our dispatchers or DMs, driver manager. It puts a lot of constraint if you miss that window of opportunity by being there an hour before or on time. If you're at your shipper receiver at the allotted time, the 7 a.m. Time, then you're actually running behind. If you're just walking in, checking in at that time. Okay. So again, back to what I was saying. That's where things went awry. Is I should have looked. I should have looked in the future, which we have the ability to look into the future and say, I don't think this is going to happen. Okay, which you can do that in trucking. You can sightline looking at your books, your logs, your stuff like that. You can look at those and say, okay, well, I know they're hard pressed for this exact timestamp, but I've ran into these issues already up until now. I was still on good for OTD. Well, now I'm looking ahead, and I don't think I'm going to make it. Okay, so communication, one, is key. I hate bad communication. I communicate via this. I don't stop and waste 10 minutes of my drive time stopping, sending a text message, sending a message over my communication device that's inside my rig to say, hey, just so you know, if I'm going down the road, those two things I don't touch, except for I answer my phone, and I'll flip on my camera, which is just a swipe, and that's it. That's all I do. I don't look at Facebook. I don't do any social media going down the road, staring at it like some of these hemorrhoids that are out here. And I'm going to use that term loosely. Back in the day, we used to call them steering wheel holders. But I don't do the social media thing on my phone where I'm checking Facebook, I'm checking this, I'm checking that. If I'm at a standstill, great. I'll look at social media, I'll look at YouTube, I'll look at, see if anybody's said anything on any of the videos that I put up, this, that, and everything else. I'll check ahead. I'll look ahead for an hour to 2 hours ahead on the weather. I'll look at the weather map. I'll look at the radar, because I've got 80,000 pounds of rolling death here. One mistake, like I said in the first actual road vlog, one mistake could be a fatal mistake. Taking myself out of the element of what's going on to, oh, surprise, I don't do that. I'm very adamant about that. And you guys will hear me pound that down y'all's throats. We hear you say it all the time. Well, you're going to hear me say it all the time. It's going to be a repeat offender. You know, be aware of your surroundings. Always know what's going on. Keep your head on a swivel. Know what's going on. Know what's going on in front of you, beside you, and around you. Yes, looking in the mirrors in your past is, you know, hey, I got a fast vehicle that's coming up on me pretty quick. You know, I don't know what they're going to do. Zip, 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 zip. Boom. There's an accident in front of you because they're being stupid. They're playing to, you know, Fast and Furious going down the highway. You know, so many elements. And those are things that play key factors in looking into the future. Saying, hey, you know, I don't think I'm going to make that OTD. Or, you know, I'm good for this OTD because, you know, I'm a little bit ahead, or I'm running right on the schedule that I predicted, you know, things to that nature. One thing, you want to be good for your OTDs. You want to make sure, you want to own up to the reason why you're behind schedule, late, this, that, and everything else. You want to know what's going on so you can relay that information. One of the biggest things, and I got to get back in the habit. Obviously, I've been out of the game for 3 years because I retired, and I got to get back into the habits that I had prior to retiring, and get back in that communication with my DMs and everybody that's involved in my game plan. Because if my game plan fails, you know, who do I have to back up on my game plan? You know, one minor mistake, a 30-minute delay. 30-minute delay can cause might be a little loud. Roll the window down. 30-minute delay could cause 8 hours of being behind. How do I know? I have actually foreseen this. I have had this happen to me. I stopped for 30 minutes to use the restroom, and in that 30-minute time frame, I was actually up in the Northwest. Well, I was up in I believe it was Wyoming, Salt Lake, somewhere out in the mountains out that way. But that 30 minutes that I stopped to use the restroom, get something to eat, stretch my legs, do everything I needed to do, it snowed. Something out of my hands. So I got a hold of my dispatcher, and I'm going to turn the camera around real quick because I want you to see the beautiful sunset for a minute and the white truck across from me. See the foliage colors. I told my disc to take my dirty 30, and it's snowing. It's snowing 30 miles up the road. Well, can't you get through that snow? You know, is it that bad? Have they closed the roads? Have they done this? No, but I do know higher up in the elevation that it is pretty rough going up there. I've talked to drivers that have come down out of up there, and they said it's nasty up there. Okay, go as far as you can. No, you don't understand. I'm going to be 8 hours behind because of that snow up there. Well, how are you going to be 8 hours behind? Well, actually, let's rephrase that. I'm going to be upwards of 18 hours behind. Because now I'm going to go on a 10-hour break and hope and pray that that the state goes out and does their job and cleans the highways. So, you know, it's all give and take now. who's going to do their job, who's not going to do their job. Am I going to be, is it blizzard conditions? Are they going to be able to do anything up that way? That's what it relies on. So, like I said, half an hour can make it an 8 hour to 10 hour to 18 hour delay on being on time. Now, if the driver makes mistakes, is lazy and doesn't do their job and do what they can to stay on time, if they're constantly stopping and tooling around the truck stop, me and my wife call them truck stop truckers. It is what it is. You can't do that. Not in this industry. If you have a lot of time on the load, stop, smell the roses for a little bit, get back on the road, get as close as you can to that shipper receiver, and go take care of business. See if you can go in and get loaded. Go in and see if you can get unloaded early. Talk to your planner, talk to your CSR, talk to your DM, talk to your broker. Hey, I'm ahead of this load. I'm ahead of the game. What can you do about making it right to where I can get in there and get out of there because I'm so far ahead? That's the mindset. That's the game that you want to play. Don't play the game, oh, well, I have a 7 a.m. appointment. I'm just going to tool on down the road. Oh, blah, this, that. Oh, look, squirrel over there. I'm going to go pet it. No, don't do that, because that puts you behind the game. That makes you into an undesirable driver. Now, was I trying to do that? No, because I was out hammering the pavement. Ran into the delay. Should have relayed that information. Hey, because of this, they would have been fine. They would have been like, all right, hey, we'll just get it rescheduled. We'll juggle things around. Something that would have been out of my control, I made it into my control and made me look like the fool, made me look like the bad guy. You don't want to do that, especially if you're on reputable contracts. If you constantly pull for something, you want to make sure that customer's taken care of. That customer's number one. So, a little bit. But you want to make sure that customer is number one, and you make that customer feel like number one. Now, when I walked through the door, I was 3 hours behind schedule. I walked through the door, paid the fine for being behind. Am I kicked off of the account that I'm on? No. I had my one hand spank, don't do it again. Could I have gotten fired? I don't know. I know they're needing drivers, and I know this company that I know, Brian Miller, the company I drive for, they're a reputable company. They know how I am. They know when I worked for them before, I had a 99% on time delivery rate. I had a 1% not on time delivery rate. Do I make mistakes? I make them all the time. Do I own up to my mistakes? All the time. And it happens. So now that I'm on a different load, going to a different location, it's all about, can I do this? Am I going to do this all the time? No, I'm not going to do this all the time, because I'm not going to get kicked off of an account, especially a dedicated account. Because I don't want to lose the account. I don't want to cause a debacle within the system, and it come back to bite me in the butt, saying, well, no, we shouldn't have hired you back. Well, everybody makes a mistake. I've been out of the game. You know, I could use every excuse in the book, but I'm not going to. I owned up to my mistake. I told my DM what was up, everything that happened, everything I should have communicated and relayed the night before when I went to bed. Hey, I don't look good for OTD. Should have relayed it back when I stopped in Brazil, Indiana. Hey, I'm not for sure if I'm going to be OTD. And explain why. And if I would have just explained why in the beginning, miscommunication was key. Is miscommunication, misunderstanding on communication, and lady driver out there snapping a picture. Taking care of my customer, taking care of my board, and said, hey, I don't think I'm going to be good for OTD because of miscommunication, misunderstanding and communication, and this, that, and everything else. That's on me. That's not on them. So, two things. I learned my lesson. Make sure that what's up here is communicated down there or on there between all parties. That way they can be like, hey, okay, because of this and this, you don't think you're going to be OTD. Keep us updated. You know, what's a good ETA, estimated time of arrival, and we'll try to make things work. Do a reschedule, do a workaround, you know, whatever. Now, normally, a driver that gets routed back to the yard gets bumped off of accounts. Or to talk to my DM, that's not going to happen. If it does, that's fine. You know, I'm okay with that. Just don't put me with a driver manager that's going to shoot me in the foot because I made one minor mistake. You know, I'll make everything good. I'll make everything right. I'll take care of what I need to, get on down the highway, make sure everything's good between me and the other side. Sorry, I'm all of a sudden thirsty. But it is what it is. That's trucking. It happens. But what I'm getting at is make sure, keep your communication lines open. If you've got DMs, customer service representatives, planners, brokers that don't want to communicate with you via a voice conversation, talk to them about it. You know, send them an email. Hey, you know, best case scenario, if you don't hear from me within an allotted amount of time, I haven't answered you, I haven't acknowledged you, give me a call. Find out what's going on. You know, say, hey, you know, this is the game changer. This is the game plan. This is the difference in A and B. But also on the same coin, make sure you do the same common courtesy to them. Give them the heads up. Let them know, hey, this is the game changer. This is why the game changer is. This is why this is happening. Don't go out and be the bad guy and just quit communicating. Always communicate. Some of the easiest ways, like I said, if you have time, if you're not slamming the pavement and it's shutdown time, throw a message, throw an email, say, hey, this is what's up, this is what I ran into. Wait for a response. If they don't give you a response in an allotted amount of time, get on the phone, call, leave a voicemail. If they haven't called you back off of that voicemail, call again. Get to where your driver manager, your planner, your CSR, your broker, whoever that you deal with on a regular basis knows that you're willing to go the extra mile in communicating and letting them know this is what's up, you know. But don't be the guy that calls in every 5-10 minutes and ask dumb questions. And people say there's no dumb question. There's just oh, whoa, how's that phrase go? There is no dumb questions, because the only dumb question is the question not asked. Don't be the person that gets annoying with calling in all the time, calling in and sending in messages and constantly blowing up communication lines, because then they're going to start thinking that you need your hand held. The only time you start doing that is when it's an emergency. That's when you start blowing up the communication lines. Other worst case scenario is make sure when you do communicate that you're communicating the right information, the correct information, and the honest information. Don't be like, oh, well, you know, I had to shut down early because of whatever, and then not be truthful. Be truthful. Always be truthful in what you got to say, how you got to say it, and make sure that they understand that that is what's going on. And if you need a little bit of proof, I'll find a way to get you proof. If you're sitting out on the interstate shut down because of something major that shut you down on the interstate, snap a picture that you're stuck in traffic. Snap a picture of your mirror. Snap a picture your mirror in front. You know, straight shoot it like this, where the camera has mirror and has the front windshield and looking out front. Always do a CYA, cover your ass, or CYB if you don't want to use ass. CYB, cover your butt. Make sure that you and them know they have the information that they can rely on, and don't just take a picture and have it sitting in your phone saying, oh, this is the reason why. Because all they got to do is go back on Department of Transportation accident reports and stuff like that. If it's because of construction, snap a picture of a construction sign. You know, this is why we were held up in traffic. When I snapped the picture of being stuck in traffic, this is why we were being held up in traffic. You know, if you get a clear shot of the construction sign, get a clear shot of that construction sign. It says road construction ahead. You know, and then explain. All right, this is me in traffic. This is the reason why. This is the leading cause and the factor. Give an explanation, and give an ETA of I'm going to be, you know, X amount of hours late, X amount of minutes late. You know, give that kind of explanation. Which is what I should have done. I'm preaching to the choir when the choir is singing. So do that. Make sure that you keep your communication open, keep communication truthful, and always do it safely. So we'll catch you guys next time. Be safe. Safe travels, y'all. and we will catch you on the next trick.